Jackson Swain, touchdown.
It's time. It's time. It's Swain Event time.
My man.
It is time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. This is real sports talk for the real sports fan. Talk to him, Swain.
Give me 2 pounds and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. 865-255-03 is our number to the Garza Law hotline. The Beatty Chevrolet text box is always open for you to send in comments, throw in questions. We love the interaction. We love to make you a part of the show. And so we frequently go to the text box throughout the show. If you are new to the Swain Event, welcome. For all my day ones, what is up? Ben McKee will be included in that group. My man Ben. Good morning, sir. How you doing, Ben? You good? You good?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. You sound great.
I hesitated because my
You look great too.
well, I don't know about that, but my settings on my Zoom were telling me something otherwise, so that's why I hesitated for a moment. But I'm doing well, much better than Arkansas fans this morning.
Well, for some Arkansas fans, I mean, I think they have found the solution.
The solution to what?
Their issue. I mean, I'm checking out message board geniuses this morning, and Hog Pocket 9455 says blank Van Horn. He's not winning the big game ever. He's too big of a blank to fire Nate no hits in Omaha Thompson, and Hobbs is completely wasted. Dave Van Horn is just thankful to be in the room. Bring Vitello home. At least he'll fight for it. So, I mean, last time I checked from Arkansas fans, I thought Tony Vitello was classless. But the other portion of the fan base thinks he's the answer. So, listen, when Tennessee was playing Arkansas, this was a talking point. That can Arkansas produce when the stakes are high? Can they make the play to win? Or do they revert back to Arkansas a couple years ago in Omaha and fail to make the easy routine play and find some way to give the game away? Well, Arkansas did handle its business versus Tennessee, but the same old thing happened with Arkansas again last night. I mean, 3 major mistakes in 1 inning.
I would say 4.
You got 4?
One was not a physical mistake. The fourth one is, I don't understand why you're pitching to Jared Jones. I consider that a major mistake.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking, you're right. I was thinking the same thing at the moment. I was like, he just hit a home run. He's he's the most clutch player on the field, either dugout. But yeah, 4. You're right.
And part of that was a physical mistake. Like it's reasonable to pitch away from him if you're not just going to intentionally walk him. It is certainly fair to say, okay, we're just going to throw him a bunch of breaking balls and hope that maybe he chases a couple of these. And then the physical mistake comes into play when the breaking ball is not outside of the zone enough, and you hang it. I mean, Kyle Peterson was talking about it in the moment. Is like, okay, first base is open. You understand the logic of, well, let's just throw a bunch of breaking balls away from him and hope that he chases and gets himself out. But you better not hang one. Kyle Peterson said that right before the Arkansas pitcher hung it just enough to where Jared Jones could get the barrel on the baseball, and it was just enough to get over the head of Cam Kozel, the second baseman, who here's my thought this morning. I genuinely feel bad for the Arkansas players and Dave Van Horn and that coaching staff. I legitimately feel bad for them that is how their season comes to an end. Who I don't feel bad for is the Arkansas fan base, because they are some of the most annoying fans on social media, and like that you have that coming for you, quite frankly, with how you act here and there. But I legitimately feel bad for Davalon out there in left field, who had a phenomenal season. Yeah. Quite frankly, he was one of my favorite players to watch in the SEC this season. I hope the Yankees draft him here in the first couple of rounds next month.
They need him.
Charles Davalon. And then I really hated it for Cam Kozel, which was a phenomenal story. Coming back to Omaha, grew up in Omaha. His dad built him on their farm a replica of the old Rosenblatt Stadium to where Cam and his siblings could go out there and play wiffle ball or t-ball or whatever. Like, this was the dream of all dreams for the Kozel family. His dad is on the grounds crew at TD Ameritrade in Omaha, and there was a cool photo going around yesterday because he's on the grounds crew and dealing with the dirt and grounds crew stuff in between games. He was able to get in the dugout and take a photo of the Arkansas lineup that his son is in. And he's been a grounds crew member at the College World Series for years. And Cam Kozel didn't do anything wrong on that last play, but he leapt as high as he could jump. And unfortunately, he just was an inch or two shorter to where that base hit from Jared Jones was able to ricochet off the top of the glove. Like, that is heartbreaking stuff. Like, I don't wish that upon anybody, quite frankly. The fan base got what it deserved, but I genuinely, Swain, do feel bad for those players. Aloy, I should not be bringing up him last. Like, that was just really poor baseball IQ in that moment to go to third instead of try for the 6-4-3 double play. I mean, it was clear as day that it should have been an inning or a game-ending double play to force another game today. I enjoyed watching him this year. I hate that he had a brain fart in the biggest moment of the season. That's something that he'll have to live with the rest of his life. I mean, it was just a chain of events that just did not go well for Arkansas whatsoever. And I do think you have to look at Dave Van Horn. I'm not totally blaming him. Those are three professional baseball players that did not play like themselves within that moment. But I kind of think back to Zakai Ziegler and Jemai Meshack not having their best game against Houston in the Elite Eight. You give a lot of credit to Houston. Houston was the better basketball team. But I think Tennessee not being to the Final Four, I think it weighs on the players. And how much talk about wanting to get it done for Rick to get back to the Final Four, wanting to get it done for Tennessee fans and the university to get to the program's first ever Final Four. That's a lot of pressure. And I do think it got to Tennessee's players when they were playing Houston, and that led to them not playing their best basketball. I think you see that with Arkansas as well. The fact that Dave Van Horn's kind of the Rick Barnes of college baseball, and those players wanted to get it done for Dave Van Horn. They wanted to get the program's first national championship. And in that moment, the pressure of that, I think it got to the players. So you do look at Dave Van Horn in that sense, like how can I help my players be looser in those situations to play the way that they need to. But to sit there and act like Dave Van Horn needs to be fired off of that when you had three professional baseball players just peeing down their leg in the biggest moment physically, I think that's a bit too much.
Yeah. Emotional Arkansas fan posting that.
And I get it. I mean, unfortunately for Arkansas fans, I tweeted last night, it's hard to draw up a more heartbreaking way to have your season come to an end. They have had their season come to an end in a worse way, in 2018 when they let that pop up that I believe would have been the final out.
Yeah, foul ball.
Drop in between the right fielder, second baseman, and first baseman in foul territory. You catch that, you win the College World Series. So they have unfortunately experienced that a little bit more, but that is still an all-time heartbreaking loss that I will never forget about, just like I'll never forget that pop-up that dropped in 2018 as well.
865-255-03, Garzalo Hotline. Let's get to the phones. Good morning.
Good morning.
What is up?
It's Mississippi Vol
Mississippi Vol from the SIP.
from Hattiesburg.
Does that
I
mean
don't feel bad about
you're leading the charge to get Tristan Keys to Knoxville? Is that what that means? Is this Tristan Keys calling in?
I was thinking the same thing.
I am leading the charge to get Tristan Keys to Tennessee. And I don't want to put a percentage out there. I know I gave Swain one, but I'm feeling real good.
Be careful.
Swain,
Be careful, SIP. SIP Vol. Be careful.
man, I'm not going to say too much. But, yeah, I feel good about the Faison-Brandon connection. You know, I think that's going to be the one that get him over the top. But like I said, I think he's still wavering on a lot of other schools as well. I'm confident as of right now. But, you know, LSU this weekend, and, you know, we'll see how that goes. But I just feel confident about him, and he's a good player, good kid overall. And I think we got a chance to get him. Swino.
Yeah, I mean, hey, man, I was sitting at the same table with him and Mike Matthews and Mom. Is that stepdad?
Yes, the stepdad.
Stepdad, brother, Pope, his wife, a Tennessee staffer. I mean, I'm sitting right there just observing the relationship that him and Pope has, watching him and Mike Matthews, and I saw him chop it up with Faison-Brandon. I see that relationship, very strong relationship between the Tennessee quarterback commit and Tristan Keys. So I'm picking up what you're putting down, Mississippi Vol.
I mean, everybody loves Tennessee. I just say that. I think we had him in December. They wanted to slow it down. But we'll see, man. The kid's a loyal kid, and that's why everything is wavering on him so hard. But he's about ready to get it over, I believe. And we'll just see. You know, I know family's taking a vacation this week to sit down and talk. So I'm not sure if Mom's gonna make it to LSU. We'll see, man.
Well, he can't commit again. I mean, he's already committed to LSU, so I know his commitment to LSU was a surprise when he went on a visit last time. So
that was a shocker to everybody. That shocked this city.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Hey, well, keep us in the loop, Mississippi Vol.
I will.
Hey, I appreciate you, man.
Yep.
All right, see you. 865-255-03. Mississippi Vol doing the Lord's work down there in Hattiesburg, Ben.
Mississippi Vols come up clutch a couple of different times. When I went to Southern Miss a couple of years ago for baseball, I believe it was Mississippi Vol that gave me some restaurant recommendations, and they were top notch.
You mean like plural?
No, there are multiple. Look,
I'm just joking.
I ate good in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Hattiesburg, Mississippi has fed me as well as any SEC town or other town I've visited to cover Tennessee athletics. The seafood down there was mwah. Oh, I'm getting all excited just thinking about it. I'd go back down just for the food in a heartbeat. Everybody's complaining about going to Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Shoot, send me. I know I'll eat good for a couple of days. Barbecue, seafood, everything in between. I was living good on the food side.
Relax.
Too good, as y'all know.
Oh, speaking of, you mentioned Zakai Ziegler. I did get a chance to watch the documentary a couple days ago. Bet on Me. Whew.
Good stuff.
Great stuff. Great stuff. I mean, imagine covering Tennessee and not watched it. I mean, my goodness, who would do something like that?
Well, if I could stop covering Tennessee to give me time to watch it, I would greatly appreciate that. If Tony Vitello would stop recruiting all these elite baseball players and prevent me from being busy with the portal and the draft combine and the drafts in a little bit less than a month away. The basketball draft, NBA draft is next week, and Chaz Lanier is moving up the draft boards. I mean, he's not going to be a first-round pick. That would be a total surprise, but Chaz has worked himself up to an early second-round pick. ESPN had him, well, not ESPN, but one of the mock drafts that I put a lot of stock in, I think it was Kevin O'Connor with Yahoo Sports, has him going to the Golden State Warriors. I think that'd be an awesome fit for Chaz. I have the ESPN one pulled up in front of me. That one had him going early in the second round as well. Unfortunately, not to my Memphis Grizzlies, which why would anybody ever want to play for the Grizzlies according to that bum Stephen A. Smith, but the Spurs drafting Chaz Lanier, which the Spurs would be a great fit for Chaz as well to play off of Wemby. And who else? I'm forgetting. I know they got Castle, who won Rookie of the Year or is expected to win Rookie of the Year. But I feel like, aren't I missing somebody that's with the Spurs? Don't they have a second key player?
Stephon Castle did win Rookie of the Year.
Yes. He's not the one I'm thinking of.
You thinking De'Aaron Fox?
Yes, De'Aaron Fox. Put Chaz Lanier next to De'Aaron Fox and Wemby and Castle. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Spurs will be trying to get Giannis this offseason.
Well, I think they should send Giannis to Memphis if you ask me. But I forgot. Nobody wants to play there.
I don't think y'all's trying to go to Memphis, man. I think he's trying to go to Spurs or like New York or something like that.
Never mind the fact that the Grizzlies have never lost a player that they wanted to retain. They've retained every player they've ever wanted to retain. That's weird, considering NBA players are scared for their life in the city of Memphis, and nobody wants to play in the city of Memphis, yet they retain Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol and Mike Conley and Tony Allen, Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane.
Let me give people some context why you in your feelings. So there was a conversation on ESPN that included Stephen A. Smith talking about attracting players to Memphis, and referenced that Jimmy Butler, who now plays for the Golden State Warriors, did not want to play at Memphis because of safety concerns. And people of Memphis and people that play ball at Memphis, people who currently play ball in Memphis, did not take too kindly to those comments at all. And Grizzlies fans like Ben are not fans of the comments either. So that's why Ben is throwing shade about those comments. But Zach Edey, man, he's speeding in a Kia Sorento. What are you doing, Zach Edey? A Kia Sorento going 100 miles in a 50?
55, I think.
My goodness, what you doing, Zach? I know you got them big ass feet, but man, lay off the gas, man.
He thought he was a Georgia football player.
My goodness.
For a second, Memphis maybe got to him a little too much on that one. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, that people's fascination with wanting to go that fast in that speed zone baffles my mind.
It's a speed zone. That speed zone's for a reason, man, for safety. And you hitting 100. It's one thing to hit 10 miles over, which in 50, going 10 miles over is like really, really fast. Like,
yeah,
you going 50, 40 over, man, you're gonna get somebody hurt.
Yes, for sure. Like if it's a 75 and you got a fast car and there's nobody around you and you want to get it up to 100 for a quick little second, okay, like whatever. That's your not my cup of tea, but you can have that cup of tea yourself if you prefer that. But doing that in in a 55, it's outrageous. There was somebody else yesterday that Shador Sanders also got busted for the same thing. I just don't. These young athletes and their fascination. Oh, I've got this car, and I can go this fast in it. Like you're putting.
So stupid.
Learn from Henry Ruggs, the third, and others. And I know there were other elements involved there, but learn from others. You are going to take your life and others' life as well. Please, please, please stop doing that. But I did not mean to go on a Memphis tangent. I apologize for talking NBA here on a college football podcast.
Just a podcast. That's right. Just a little bit of podcast. That's all.
Hey, Tennessee needs Tristan Keys in the boat. Tennessee had a decommitment at the wide receiver position last night from a receiver over in North Carolina, North Kakalaka, Tyron Evans, who committed in January. Not one that I'm worried about if I'm a Tennessee fan, but I do think that it ups the importance of landing Tristan Keys. If you land Tristan Keys, you don't care about losing Tyron Evans to what appears will be Miami. Nice, solid early pickup for Tennessee early in the cycle, but go get Tristan Keys, and it's not going to matter.
Man, when did he decommit?
Last night. It was not.
Was I asleep?
It was about 9 o'clock. It was during the baseball game.
Dang,
he was at Miami last weekend for an official visit. Also took an official visit to Kentucky and NC State, and was scheduled to return to Tennessee this weekend for his official visit. But and he has not said whether he will still take his official visit this weekend.
So it's supposed to be this weekend.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he ain't getting over here easy unless he's flying because of I-40.
Yeah. Again, just go land Tristan Keys, and it's all good.
Hey, man. Miami got something going on over there.
Yeah, maybe one day it'll translate to wins and losses. Winning something of significance.
Yeah, well, but hey.
Mario Cristobal can recruit, but
he can recruit.
Can he coach? At a championship level.
He can recruit.
He can certainly recruit. It was not a
coach offensive line. He can do that.
Yes, he can. He can certainly.
I don't know about anything else.
I don't either. It was not the greatest of evenings for football recruiting. You had Iverson Garcia, the defensive lineman from Powell. He commits to South Florida, and that is one that Tennessee absolutely wanted. He was a take, and Rodney Garner loved him, wanted him. I think the issue for Tennessee and others nowadays is USF is going to prioritize him more financially than a school like Tennessee will, because they will take their rev share dollars and be willing to commit to him a whole lot more and sell him on being, you can come here and you're going to be a superstar. Everybody's going to love you. You're going to be a local celebrity. At Tennessee, you're just going to be another guy in the room, and they're not paying you as much money. So I know it looks very weird on the surface, USF over Tennessee, but there is some unfortunate logic, I think, there for Tennessee, just because of the new rev share dollars. And a place like USF, I think you're going to see this more often. I really do. Those kind of borderline takes, I guess. Like, I think you're going to see them trickle down to the mid-major level, or the less prominent SEC schools, ACC schools, Big Ten schools, because those guys they're going to be at the top of the budget list at those schools, like a USF. Whereas at Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, so on, so forth, they're not going to get that same money.
Yeah. Hey, man, good for him. Yeah, good for him, man. Kudos that he was able to put himself in position to go somewhere where they was going to make him a priority. And at the end of the day, man, it's about, especially here locally, it's about young men, young ladies getting an opportunity to get their education paid for. And that's great news for, the Powell football community, football program. They throw in another player, D1 level. They've had several over the last couple of years. So, but dang.
I mean, do you see anything off the top of your dome or see any way Tennessee could have handled that better? Or I'm not saying that Tennessee is totally blameless, but it's like, if you're Tennessee, what do you do differently in that situation other than commit? I mean, you could have committed more resources to him, obviously, but is he a guy, considering some of the other defensive linemen you are recruiting, or are you really going to commit more resources to?
Tennessee had 2 second-round picks last year, or this past year in the draft. Tennessee's going to have more NFL picks. Rodney Garner is one of the best in the country. Then you add Marion Hobby, who got a chance to meet last week as well. It's like I've known him for 30 years. Like, that's VFL right there. So you got that combination. That might be the best defensive line coaching combination in the country, and you don't want to. Like you don't want to play for those two dudes. Cool. I mean that's on you. And if South Florida wants to pay you more, and that's important to you, I don't blame you. Like, go get your money. If you're going to be a priority in that program, hey man, cool. Like, Tennessee shouldn't lose any sleep over it. Like, this is an example of sometimes how we get caught up in wanting to get the local kid, wanting to get the in-state kid. Tennessee recruits nationally. So,
and that was kind of my point. Is I don't fault Tennessee in this one, and I was curious if you did in any regard either. I mean, this is not Walter Nolan, where it's like, okay, you need to commit more resources to him. This is,
and that was before NIL was a thing.
Yes,
and he was very. He wasn't the easiest to deal with.
No,
for Tennessee.
He was not. I'm surprised he ended up being a first-round pick. Like, I know all the physical traits, but I thought the off-the-field stuff would prevent him from reaching his full potential, quite frankly. And not that he was, like, the worst person ever. I don't want to insinuate that, but just work ethic was questioned. Toughness. It was just always something. Always something minor, something silly that just should not be the case for a 5-star. But
he grew up.
Kudos to him and his family.
He grew up, man. Happy for him. Yeah, he grew up, man. I remember going to a Powell West game, and Matt Lowe, the head coach over there at Powell, they didn't gave the boy the ball, and it was on the goal line, and I'm standing right there on the sideline. He gets hit. He goes down. He hurt. Man, every time I saw Powell play, he got hurt. And I was like, but if you don't get up.
That was when I was working for VolQuest, and Eric Kane and myself were essentially on the Walter Nolan beat that year. Eric and I went out and watched him play at Anderson County. No, that game was at Powell, but they played at Anderson County. We went and watched them play Deshaun Bishop and Carnes, which was a fun game because Deshaun did his thing that game. Saw him play at Maryville. And I think there were a couple of other games. And it was just always something. He was always injured. I mean, 2 or 3 times a game, they had to stop the game to get him off the field. But kudos to him. He got it turned around.
Yeah.
My last thought on the Iverson Garcia thing is he's a take now. And Rodney Garner did really love him, so maybe he would have been a take even last year. But those type of local products, they're a take now with the 105 roster limit. So you're willing to bring those guys in, develop them a couple of years, and see what they turn into, because you can afford to risk bringing in those type of guys from the Tennessee perspective now more than ever. And I'm not going to fault a young man and his family for taking care of themselves. That is awesome. But kind of like what we talked about with Dylan Loy, it's also hard not to envision turning down a potential legacy at Tennessee and what that could do for you and your family long term. And also, this is something that I've always been big on, is in terms of not 100% prioritizing the money in the short term, because how much money could you make in the long run if you come to Tennessee and you're developed by Rodney Garner, Marion Hobby, and you're a local product that's balling out on the field? You're going to make a lot more money in the long run than you will in the short term by coming to Tennessee, developing, producing, than you will be by going to USF. And I don't think that's something that Chaz Lanier understood that and benefited from it in a major way. And that's something that I don't think enough guys are considering when making these decisions. I know we used to always make fun of Vanderbilt, and what was it, Derek Mason, that called it a 40-year decision, and that was like one of his recruiting lines that he went to when he was the head coach at Vanderbilt. Like, I know it sounds kind of corny off the jump, but it's really the case. I mean, you and so many of your teammates are a prime example of committing to a place and it being a 40-year decision and not just a 4-year decision. And to me, the 40-year decision far outweighs the money that you're going to get within 1 to 3 years of being at a place.
I mean, Tennessee ain't for everybody, and I'm okay with that, and I understand that. And sometimes you need to get away. Sometimes you need to get away from home. I mean, there are cases when parents want their kids to stay close to home. There's times when the parents want them to get as far away as possible because of negative influences. So I don't know the situation. I just know that if the young man's happy going away from Tennessee, then cool. And with the transfer portal, if he ain't happy, he can come home. He can come back to Knoxville. He can play at Tennessee. There's an opportunity for him. But he made a decision. His family made a decision based on what they thought was the best decision for them right now or in the future. And I respect that and understand that Tennessee ain't for everybody. Cool.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I do want to say that was more of a broader thought on my brain, not necessarily directed at the young man. I wish him the best. One of the thoughts, to your point about being able to transfer back home maybe one day, one of the thoughts that I had in my head when I was driving this morning and thinking about it was, is Alex Golish even going to be at USF for the next 2 to 3 years? Like, I would bet that he's not at USF in 2 to 3 years.
If it don't work out South Florida, Golish, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Tennessee fans that wouldn't mind you coming on back.
What are you doing with Josh Heupel, Swain? Huh?
I ain't say come back there.
I'm talking about Golish is going to get himself a bigger head coaching job. That's what I'm insinuating.
He gonna have to win more than he did last 2 years.
He is. There is already buzz about like Golish being the next big up and coming Scott Frost type of coach. He's already on the early list because he's already won more at USF than he should win at USF, because USF is a really, really difficult place to win at. The part of what I'm saying is the expectation that he is going to continue to win, right? Like, everybody thinks that Golish is going to continue to surpass expectations at USF and get himself a bigger head coaching job.
I mean, I thought that in year one for Golish at the beginning, but this last year he went 7-6. The first year he went 7-6. I mean, he basically had the same identical record. I mean, listen, man, if he wins 8-9 games, then, and I think he's a heck of a football coach. His absence here certainly has been felt, but I'm a little surprised that at this stage of his tenure at South Florida, there's talk about him getting a bigger job. I just think he might need to do a little bit more.
He will. There's no doubt about that. But you got to look at the records. He took over a 1-11 football team and it's on 7-6.
I get it.
the last 2 years. 2-10 the year before that, 1-8, 4-8. That Willie Taggart to Charlie Strong, they had a couple of good years in there, but USF was down bad, and he's been able to win 14 games in the past 2 years and recruit well at that level. So he certainly needs to do more.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks he is going to do more and earn himself a bigger job.
Yeah, like I'm certainly rooting for him. I'm a big fan of Golish. I really am. But you know how those.
If you're Tennessee, you take him back in a heartbeat to be the offensive coordinator. I just don't think he's going to become available as an offensive coordinator anytime soon.
For his sake, I hope not. Yeah, I hope not. Speaking of Knoxville and home, Knoxville is a special place, man. And guys like Miles Kittleman has been able to benefit being a really good football player, name is clean, and having some opportunities off the football field. And he was featured in an article, Knox News, John Adams, about his NIL investments. And man, this is so awesome because it includes one of our own here, the Swain Event family, and that's Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. We've talked about kind of the process of her working with athletes when it comes to NIL. Well, in this article, Volunteer Ventures got a chance to sit or present to the Tennessee football team months ago, had about 6 or 7 minutes. And from that meeting, a couple players wanted to speak with Jennifer Morris and others about the opportunities to invest in real estate with their NIL money. And Miles Kitzman was one of those. And already Kitzman has begun the process of flipping houses and looking to earn in the real estate investment world. So, man, really proud of Jennifer Morris, really proud of Kitzman and others, but really, really cool article here on Knox News done by John Adams. And Kitzman says, I was tired of making NIL money and not really using it for anything. It was time for him to make some big boy decisions. And linking up with Jennifer Morris was the right decision for him. So his family is no stranger to real estate. His mother owns a real estate firm, and his father's a contractor. And so the business model was very, very appealing for Miles Kitzman. So kudos to Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty. If you're looking to buy, sell, and invest in real estate, man, give her a shout. Volunteer Ventures doing some great things. Ben, they've helped a dusty old Vol beat writer to a football star on the Tennessee football team. So the range is wide for Jennifer Morris.
Beat writer is too kind. I'm an internet blogger. That's what I am. I'm an internet blogger. No, Jennifer is the best. My favorite thing about Jennifer is not how awesome she is at her job, because she is phenomenal at her job, but it's just how much she cares. That's what makes Jennifer so great, is how much she cares about taking care of you and your family and making sure that you have everything that you need. And as I've said 1,000 times before, is like, yeah, she's great at her job, but she also has a lot of connections in the Knoxville area to where the things that she can't do herself, she knows somebody that can take care of it for her and for you. And I've seen firsthand her working with different people, contractors and whatnot, and everybody stops what they're doing to help Jennifer and loves to get things done for Jennifer. She's just the absolute best, and you'd be making a very, very poor decision, quite frankly, to not work with Jennifer to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish in the world of real estate.
865-200-5503, Garza Law Hotline. Saw some good stuff here on the text box. Walkman, why am I feeling relieved that Arkansas choked in Omaha again? Well, that's because you're selfish. Waltman.
No, because you're a good Tennessee fan. That's why.
Well, I mean, you're selfish. I'm not saying it in a bad way, but you're selfish. You want to be the first-time champion. You don't want Arkansas to do it right after Tennessee. You don't want Arkansas to be able to brag about winning a championship. You want to be able to rub it in with those Arkansas fans that they have cared about baseball longer than us, and we've won more. That's what you want to continue to be able to do.
You simply want to be able to say, my team has won a national championship, and your team has not.
Yeah. You're just being selfish, Walt, man. That's what it is. You know the answer.
Now, if you're a Tennessee fan, the job is not finished. In the words of Kobe Bryant, job's not done, because you don't want LSU to win either. And honestly, the better result last night would have been Arkansas winning and forcing another game today between LSU and Arkansas to where more pitchers have to throw. That would have been the better result for Coastal Carolina last night. I know Tennessee fans taking a lot of joy in last night's meltdown from Arkansas. Maybe that outweighs them losing in normal fashion today. But if you're a Tennessee fan, you're rooting for Coastal Carolina because you don't want LSU to win either. LSU is just as annoying on social media as Arkansas is. So you are big Coastal Carolina fans, and that's going to be a really, really fun series. Coastal Carolina playing some of the best baseball in the country right now, and they have so many arms that they can hit. That's going to be a fun matchup between Coastal Carolina and LSU. Coastal's going to have to find a way to overcome Cade Anderson, who I do think is, if I'm being honest, I think he's the best pitcher in the country. I do. I think he's going to end up going number one overall as long as one of the high school guys don't go number one overall. Sorry, Liam, but that complete pitch mix that he has is dominant right now.
You're a problem.
He's a problem. So, in a sense, you kind of chalk up game one to LSU, assuming that he's able to pitch Saturday night. I don't know why he wouldn't be able to. So Coastal might have to come from behind. But Coastal has the arms to keep that a close game, a scoreless game, a one-run game, two-run game. Keep it close for a long time until you can get Cade Anderson out of there and then try and do damage once you get Cade Anderson out of there. So I'm pumped. It's been a fun World Series so far, a lot of competitive baseball games. And I think Coastal Carolina and LSU on Saturday and Sunday, maybe Monday, is going to be a phenomenal championship series.
865-255-03 is our telephone number. Recruiting got to turn it up a little bit.
We talked about it on Tuesday. Tennessee's in great position for a lot of guys, but being in great position has never been a problem for this staff. It's about getting past the finish line.
Closing. 865-255-03. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
You don't say.
Fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
When you are craving some quality barbecue, there's only one place to go. Dead End Barbecue. Dead End Barbecue has been featured on ESPN's Taste of the Town, the first barbecue restaurant on the SEC Network, CBS Sports, Headline News Tailgate Show, Amazon Prime's The Restaurant Comeback, Food Paradise, and named one of the top 100 barbecue restaurants in America. The search is over. Dead End Barbecue is located on 3621 Sutherland Avenue right here in Knoxville. You can even have it delivered right to your door through Chow Now. Visit their website at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Fellas, let's talk about getting back to your best. If you lack energy, muscle mass, feeling moody, or have low libido, it could be low testosterone. You need to know your T levels, so get tested. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, may be the answer, and you'll find true experts at Low T Center. But guys are not all the same, so don't settle for a standard dosage TRT program. Learn about the personalized treatment at Low T Center and the results you can expect with customized TRT. And for current patients, Low T Center offers a $150 referral credit when you refer a new patient. So go to lowtcenter.com to book an appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Just because you can't call in doesn't mean that you have to sit on the sideline. Impact the show with a text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
What's up, Swain Event crew? Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. Fall sports can be a roller coaster ride for us fans. The excitement, drama, and passion will make us crazy sometimes. I can't manage the games, but I can help you manage your real estate needs while you're cheering on the Vols. Reach out at 865-694-5904 or contact me at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Can't believe Arkansas lost like that. But it happened. It happened.
I'm still in awe. I can't believe it. And I mean, nobody's talking about the play that kind of started it when it was an awkward ground ball to the right side of the infield, and you throw that away. Pitcher was a little late getting off the mound and did not get a good throw to the bag. Throw gets away. Runner reaches base, and that's kind of what started it. Arkansas and playing defense in that stadium is just – it's hard not to think that they're cursed because it's incredible how they lose every time. I also think they're 0-5 now against LSU in Omaha. It's just they are down bad right now. I'm in awe. I can't believe last night actually happened. That you'll never see a ninth inning like that ever again, especially from a team as talented as Arkansas. Those three players, and again, like I said earlier, the Cam Kozel one, the game-winning play wasn't necessarily an error. So maybe the Charles Davalon miss diving catch in left field and the Aloy play not turning two. Mm-hmm. Those are two professional baseball players that just – I think it's fair to say the moment got to them.
Stunk it up. Golly, man, I hate using this word, but they choked.
They did.
They choked. I hate using it, but it fits. It fits like a glove. Big Orange 123. Oh, sorry. Big Orange 123 on the Beatty Chevrolet text box. Y'all probably seen Louisiana raising taxes on sports betting to buy players. That is correct. Front row office, sports.com. Louisiana sports betting set to aid LSU and other state schools. LSU set to divide $24 million across 11 state schools that have Division I football programs to help offset the cost of revenue sharing. So the state is raising taxes to inject a ton of money into the athletic programs. The initial proposal sought to double the state's 15% tax on online betting profits before settling in on 21.5% tax. So it's going to bring in roughly $24 million. So hey, man, we're seeing different states be creative in ways to aid schools inside of their state to have an advantage to be able to win. So we've seen Tennessee do it. We've seen other states do it. And this is the latest. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. You got leaders talked about 16-team playoff. Now they all want to do it. Now they don't want to do it. Now they was talking about, guaranteeing SEC and Big Ten force spots in the college football playoff. Now they want to do. Now they don't want to do it. It's get me to the football season, man. Get me to the football season. Nathan says at least LSU fans have a reason to be arrogant and knowing online they're the blue blood in baseball. Arkansas fans think they invented baseball and they haven't won a single natty. That's good. That's a good point there. Need a Mafia being mean. What's new? I've heard the same mantra on recruiting for 20 years. Been 6 administrations over it. Draft now. Hey man, it's hard. It's harder. In some ways, it may be easier to recruit. In some ways, it may be harder. Dustin Vol 71 on the Beatty Chevrolet text box. So where do we stand with our pitching staff with all the portal entries? Seems like we are going to be really young next year.
We'll see in terms of being young because they're obviously going to bring in some transfers. They've got Brady Frederick coming in. He'll be a junior. Bo Rudy from Kennesaw State.
Bo!
Great baseball name. He'll be a junior as well. And then you'll have some inexperienced guys for sure. You need Tegan Coons to take a big step forward. There's a couple of pitchers who are in his class that were freshmen this year who are going to have opportunities to have a big role on next year's staff. And then you do have a big high school class coming in, and there's some real positive buzz with a couple of Tennessee's biggest signees potentially making it to campus. The equivalent of Tristan Keys, David Sanders Jr., Nate Ament, like 5-star baseball players. If we had 5-star rankings, like there's real buzz about 2 of them. Cruz Schoolcraft, who is the number 7 overall player in the country, a two-way player that can really hit for power, plus velocity on the mound.
Can he rake?
And he rakes. He is.
Oh yeah.
He rakes and he shoves. He is Jack Caglione coming out of high school.
Damn.
Coming out of high school. Hear me when I say that. Coming out of high school.
I heard you.
I know you heard me, but I need others to hear me as well. That doesn't mean he's going to be Jack in college if he makes it to college. But
you said that he's going to be Jack Caglione when he gets to college. Heard you fine.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's exactly what I said. But there's a real chance he makes it to campus, and that would be massive. I can't even overstate how massive that would be for Tennessee. And then Cameron Appenzeller is the other one, another lefty who is the equivalent of a 5-star pitcher. I think he's the number 17, number 18 overall player in the country. Both of those guys were projected as first-round picks all of spring. Appenzeller had a minor injury during his senior season. He comes back. He's pitching in front of scouts, and the command wasn't super great. So his stock has dipped a little bit. There's a real chance that he also makes it to campus. So, like, if you pull those 2 guys off, I know the question was about being young, but those are 2 guys that you're willing to be young with on the mound. So we'll see how it comes together is my overall thought. That there's other guys that they're recruiting out of the portal as well, most notably Landon Mack, the transfer from Rutgers. I know there was a popular quote from Tony Vitello going around from the Tony Basilio show last week about we've got a guy on campus right now that would help us do whatever we wanted and we couldn't be stopped. And he was talking about Landon Mack, the Rutgers transfer, who was a pitcher at Rutgers this past season, the best freshman pitcher in the Big Ten this past season. They think he can be a first-round pick here in 2 years. So we'll see what it looks like. There will be some inexperience, no different than this year's. You had a lot of guys having to step up into new roles, and unfortunately, it did not click. The bullpen was very inconsistent. There wasn't one player out of the bullpen that had a consistent season from start to finish that you could rely on, and I think that really stuck in Tony's crawl, and he's making it a point of emphasis this offseason to to correct the inconsistencies of the bullpen. So I think a couple of these guys have been recruited over. I think part of it is guys wanting to make sure that they get innings, because at a place like Tennessee, with as much talent as Tennessee has, innings are not guaranteed. And then also part of it is this new roster limit with the House settlement. You've got to be at 34 at the start of baseball season. The days of bringing in 50 or so guys and letting them battle it out in the fall and then encouraging some guys to move along at Christmas, those days are over. So I would not be alarmed by the stat that 9 Tennessee pitchers have entered the portal. Are there a couple of intriguing prospects that have left? Yes. But Dylan Loy is your most notable one. I think the one that you would have liked to have had back. Other than that, I think those guys have been over-recruited. And at minimum, like, you're going to get in those same guys. They're just going to have different names. So I would not freak out over it whatsoever. I think that number is deceiving. Tennessee is, 9 pitchers are in the portal, but it's not Tegan Coons. If Tegan Coons or Anson Seibert or any of those guys entered the portal, I think that's when you would begin to freak out. And I know I get asked about Tegan Coons at least once a day. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be at Tennessee next season. He was going to do Team USA. Something changed with that. He's not doing Team USA anymore, but he is up in the Cape Cod. I think he's actually starting today, but he's going to make 3 starts in the Cape Cod League, which, for those who don't know, that's one of the summer leagues for college baseball players. It's the premier league in summer baseball. He's going to make 3 starts there, and then by mid to late July, he's going to get back down to Tennessee early to get to work with Quentin Eberhardt and start building up for his money year, his draft year as a sophomore. So Tegan Coons is not going anywhere. He'll be at Tennessee next year, and if everything goes according to plan, he's going to be one of Tennessee's starting pitchers.
Tennessee was battling against Texas for a recruit and came up a little bit short. Your thoughts on that, and how will Tennessee recover and bounce back?
Yeah, you're referencing Aiden Robbins, the Seton Hall outfielder. It was between Tennessee, Texas A&M, and Texas. He committed to Texas, as you mentioned, last night. I caught word yesterday morning that it was between Tennessee, A&M, Texas, but that Tennessee was probably going in a different direction. Some things had popped up. I'm not exactly sure what those exact things were. I interpreted it as something NIL related, whether that be out of Tennessee's price range or using Tennessee as leverage, something along those lines. But Tennessee elected to go in a different direction there. I'm not crystal clear on the details as to why, but I do think, just reading between the lines, I think it was NIL related. There's a couple of other guys I'm paying attention to right now. I mentioned Landon Mack. He visited last week. That visit went really well, but there were a couple of things in his personal life that needed to get sorted out, so they were not expecting a quick decision there. Henry Ford was the first player that visited Tennessee from Virginia, a big-time prospect. Quite frankly, I don't think it matters whether he commits to Tennessee or not, because he is draft eligible, and I would be stunned if he does not sign in the draft. So even if he does commit to Tennessee, I think he's going to sign in the draft, and there's a lot of buzz between Mississippi State and him, because the Virginia coach, his coach at Virginia, is now at Mississippi State. Jaron Advincola is a second baseman from Cal. He was here on a visit last week, but Tennessee was his first visit, so things are still playing out with him. You got Garrett Wright in the boat over the weekend, the Bowling Green catcher / outfielder. I really like that pickup for Tennessee. And then I'm anticipating them hosting one of his teammates this weekend on a visit, DJ Newman, who is a two-way player at Bowling Green, a right-handed pitcher and an outfielder who has good career numbers both on the mound and at the plate. That'd be a nice addition for Tennessee if they can pull that one off. Tennessee needs outfielder help, so that's why I think you're seeing another outfielder brought in. There's a report last night that Tennessee and Texas are battling it out for Chris Hakopian. I butchered that last name, so I apologize. But the Maryland shortstop is what I refer to him as. There's some there was a report last night from On3 that it's down to Tennessee and Texas. I personally have not heard a ton of buzz there, so we'll see how that one plays out. But that would be the Maryland shortstop can really swing the bat. So and it's harder than ever for Tennessee to get a feel for these guys because these transfers are keeping it so low key on purpose because they don't want to give their hand away and they want to maintain leverage. So it's quieter than it ever has been. I think part of that is it just being harder than ever to get a read on these guys. I also think Tennessee is trying to keep things as quiet as possible because there's players on the roster that you don't want to enter the portal while you're hosting visitors. So it's a bit chaotic right now. But at the end of the day, by the time August rolls around, Tony V is going to have a very talented roster to play with in the fall.
A couple messages here in the Beatty Chevrolet text box, BeattyChevrolet.com. Were you surprised about Binky and Breedlove transferring? Also, going to miss my man, Binky. Saw where he's transferring. Good luck.
I was not surprised. Binky did not pitch to his capability this year. Just a weird year for him. Dealt with some soreness at the start of the year and just never seemed to be able to gain any momentum after that. So I'm not surprised. I think those guys are replaceable, quite frankly. And who was the other name? Binky and who? Breedlove.
Yeah, Breedlove. Sorry.
I think they're guys that will go on and be very successful at their next school. There's no offense to those guys, but I do think those guys are replaceable, quite frankly. And I think if you're them, like you want to make sure that you're going to be in a position to where you're really going to receive innings, because like I said earlier, Tennessee is a place where there's going to be so much talent on the roster, and it's a constant theme. We talk about it every year how there's not enough innings to go around for everybody. Yeah. So. Like, I think Binky and Breedlove could have had nice seasons for Tennessee next year, but maybe they want to go somewhere where they know they're going to get a set amount of innings that is not promised, not literally promised from the coaching staff, but to where it's evident on paper, like, okay, I know I can stay here and I'm going to get a lot of innings. That's not the case whatsoever because of how much talent is coming in. So I think part of it is maybe just wanting a fresh start. Maybe being recruited over a little bit, but also wanting to make sure that you're going to get a nice handful of innings next season.
865-255-03 GARS Law Hotline. We missed anything? You were at basketball practice?
Basketball. I sent you some text messages. I'm glad you brought it up. I was hoping that you would. For a June 17th practice, and for it being the beginning of the third week of summer practice, I was as impressed as I could have been. I really was. This basketball team, it's going to be different. They're going to have different strengths. They're going to have another chance to make a deep run. I was very impressed in a lot of different ways. My quick thoughts in terms of like the main things that stood out. First one, Nate Ament is the real deal. I've seen it. I've seen enough. Number 1 overall pick, trade Ja, trade Jaron, tank for Nate. Tank for Nate. I'm partially kidding, but you see why he's projected as a top 5 pick in next year's NBA draft. He is smooth, man. He is smooth.
Compare what you saw at this stage of the summer to what you saw from other teams at this stage of the summer.
It's the same as the last 2 teams.
Okay.
Like it looks different because the roster, the personnel is different. This team is going to be much stronger in the front court than the last 2 teams. I think the front court is going to be the post players, the group of post players. I think they are going to be a nightmare to deal with for opposing teams because we talked about this when they got Jalen Carey's commitment. They check every box. Mm-hmm. They're going to be able to rebound. Mm-hmm. Felix Akpara is going to be the best perimeter or best post defender, rim protector in the country this year, arguably. Like he's in the conversation for it at minimum. And one of the things I was most impressed with, Cade Phillips and JP Estrella, they look really good shooting the basketball from the perimeter. I'm telling you, Cade's stroke looks nice. JP looks real comfortable. They look comfortable out there on the perimeter, and I don't think that individually they're going to go out there and shoot 75 threes each this next season. But as a group, Jalen Carey has a nice shot. Cade Phillips has a nice shot. JP Estrella has a nice shot. I think collectively as a group, they can give you 40 to 50 threes. I really do believe that. And now I'm interested to see how much Rick lets them step out there and shoot the basketball. But I think he's absolutely going to let them because he's working on their shot with them. He complimented Jalen Carey and his form. He was getting on to a different player because Rick was frustrated with a different player that he was not doing something with his form. And he pointed out that Jalen Carey picked it up within a week. Why can't you get the hang of this?
So he tweaking his form.
Yes, and working on them. And they were doing drills to where all those guys were taking shots on the perimeter. Felix Akpara was not taking shots out on the perimeter. So I think as long as Cade and JP and Carey, as long as they make them, they're not going to shoot them in volume. But as a group, I think they're absolutely going to be allowed to shoot them. And I was very, very impressed with all of their shots, especially Cade. Cade barely missed. And I chatted him up a little bit after practice. I said, man, your shot looks good. And he says, it feels good. And I think we're going to be able to shoot it better. And he was very complimentary of the other guys. So Nate Ament, real deal. He did not miss. His jump shot is silky smooth. Even when they were doing some 5-on-5 stuff, he was a problem. He dunked on Jalen Carey. Or maybe it was Dwayne Brown. It was one of them. Straight up, put the ball on the floor, drove to the basket, and yammed all over Dwayne Brown. I think it was Dwayne Brown. I mean, it was – I know Ryan Shumpert had a tweet of there was some jaw-dropping stuff. My jaw was on the ground. I was sitting next to Chris Lofton, and Chris Lofton was like, this guy's different. See what
I'm talking about? See how Chris be doing it? He'd be sliding in and sliding out of town. Don't be telling nobody.
Yeah, he had just gotten into town, and I said, hey, he did say if
no,
listen. He said he was gonna have to leave Thursday morning, so this morning, and he said, but if I stay an extra day, I'm gonna hit you and Swain up, and we're gonna go to dead end before Swain gets on the air. But Nate Ament, I'm telling y'all, he by far gonna be Rick Barnes' best freshman, and he has the chance to be the best freshman in program history. And the team just physically looks so great for a team in the middle of June. Garrett Medenwald does not get enough credit. I mean, the nobody looks sloppy. Jalen Carey looks mean, Swain.
I like him.
You want him in a dark alley. He's a bully. You want him off the bus first. Dwayne Brown and Troy Henderson, the guys that barely got a offer or weren't ranked high, however you want to say it, they were impressive. For a June 17th practice, I was as impressed as I could have been. I haven't even talked about Jacoby Gillespie, and he looked good.
Love it. I can't wait to see him, man. We'll talk more about the Hoops team on Tuesday. 865-255-03 is always our number to the Guards of Law hotline. Man, we've been having like skunks around the neighborhood, acting like they own the place. If you got an issue with wildlife, it could be raccoons or squirrels or bats or whatever. Alpha Wildlife. Go to the website, alphawildlife.com. See how they can help you. Veteran-owned, Tennessee fans. My man Ben McKee. Enjoy your weekend, man. Enjoy your weekend. Big weekend for Tennessee football recruiting. We'll have an update on that Tuesday as well. For Ben McKee, GoVols 247, I'm Jason Swain. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day, great weekend coming up. Peace and much love. We are out.